Hello, Andy. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thanks for having me to talk about Resident Evil, which
My pleasure.
enjoy.
We've both played Resident Evil 4 Remake for a short amount of time, a little pre-release demo.
A little amuse-bouche.
An amuse-bouche. And you have made an excellent video over on Outside Xbox detailing all the ways that the game is different, all the ways that it's new and exciting, but also a kind of tonal shift. It's kind of got this darker, grittier aesthetic. It's overall bleaker. But the thing is, Capcom won't show you this in their official B-roll, but having played it, Andy, basically we both spent quite a lot of our time with the game trying to do all of the stupid, ridiculous stuff that you used to be able to do in Resident Evil 4, in the original, and a great deal of it does carry over. So I wanted to detail all of the ways that Resident Evil 4 Remake is still Resident Evil dumbness in the way that we love. FYI, we're going to be referring in this video to things that we saw in our time playing Resident Evil 4 Remake and referring to things that we've seen in official B-roll provided by Capcom. So if you do want to go in completely knowing nothing at all about the game, this is your spoiler warning. We are going to tell you about things we found, weird things we found, in the first, say, 20 minutes. Number 1, throwing an egg. In Resident Evil Original, you could scare the chickens into laying eggs, and you could pick up that egg, and you could eat it for a small amount of health.
There were different kinds of eggs. You get a golden egg, which had great health-restoring properties.
Yes, that's right.
So it was like someone at Capcom was like, we have to have different egg levels.
We have to. It's nearly, we're approaching launch.
Please, can we release the game? Not until there's different levels of egg in it.
It took a little while. We were almost at the point of giving up, weren't we, when we were playing Resident Evil 4 Remake? Yeah. The PRs were standing over our
Capcom were like,
shoulder.
you have to leave. You have to leave now.
I'm not sure
we're closing the office for the day.
I'm not sure this egg thing you're looking for is going to be in the game. You might want to...
You turned around and snarled.
Hissed like a cat.
Yeah.
But incredibly, yes, you can still get a chicken to lay an egg, and you can pick up that egg, you can equip it from your inventory, and you can throw it as a weapon. Now, here's the only problem. It was after...
Tell them what happened when you threw the egg.
I missed. I threw it at an enemy. The egg that I'd been waiting so long to get, reloading this demo over and over and over again to try and get from the chickens. I panicked. And in the heat of the moment. So I don't know what happens when the egg makes contact. Perhaps
is it a one-hit kill?
It could be a one-hit kill. It could be the most powerful.
Does the egg fry on their hot, feverish skin? Maybe.
Yeah, we simply don't know. But what we do know is...
Does it cure them? Does it make them good?
Yeah, they go, Leon! Thank God.
Leon, you have to listen to me.
I'll take you straight to Ashley. She's in terrible danger. Well, you know what? It might do, because I fluffed up, I whiffed the throw, and now cannot bring you the intel of what happens when you make good contact with egg. But we can tell you, egg is still there. Ignore Capcom's serious trailers. You can still throw an egg at people. Leon's physicality and martial arts abilities were one of the odder aspects of the original Resident Evil 4.
But this is like an essential skill to Resident Evil 4, because you got so few bullets.
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to pop them in the knee, and then you run up and spin kick them, and then you slash their body on the ground. But of course, breakable knives now, so you might not be able to do that.
But I wouldn't have been surprised, looking at what they've done elsewhere in the remake, if that crowd clearing mechanic, which you are right to note is completely essential, would have been, I don't know, a kind of panicky shove, or something like that, or just kind of a shoulder barge.
Shoulder barge.
Yeah, something a little bit more grounded than a bonkers spin kick. The very first villager you meet, you will, in cutscene, spin kick,
windmill kick them into a wall,
breaking their neck.
Yeah, 90-degree angle.
And the spin kicks / roundhouse kicks are just kind of part of the same general vibe with Leon's physicality. He's still jumping out of windows. He's still absurdly strong. What
we didn't test, actually, I don't think there was an opportunity to do so, is, do you remember in Resident Evil you could either open doors or you could boot them open? So hopefully that's still in there, just giving the door a massive kick every time you go through.
I hope so.
I think the real test will be whether Leon graduates to full-on German suplexes later in the game, as he did in the original.
Yeah.
When there's like a a cultist in robes coming towards you, chanting in the old tongue, and then spin around behind them, belly to back, bridging Northern Lights suplex. It's good. If that's still in there, I'll be happy.
Money is important in Resident Evil 4 because it's how you save up for weapons upgrades and things like that. So
Pesetas.
Pesetas.
They're back.
They're back.
This part of Spain has left the monetary union.
But yeah, so that's still the currency, which is weird enough on its own. And I was delighted to find this out. And again, you have us to thank, because I don't know how many other outlets devoted all of their demo time with the game to seeing if you can still get money out of a crow. But you can still get money out of a crow.
Well, that's good, because that was also a feature of Resident Evil Village. As you'll recall, you could shoot crows and get money out of them in that. So it would be a significant step backwards to let us shoot money out of crows.
It would be a humiliating climb down for Capcom.
Climb down. Yeah.
I was really, really pleased to see this in the game because it's daft. And it also hints at the remake keeping the original game's emphasis on like collectibles in very, very odd places, you know? We found one collectible in when we were playing the demo, but it's things like there were sort of like tiny things you could shoot and it would get you like little gems and coins and collectibles and things like that. Yeah, and you've got to be pretty quick to shoot this crow because they will fly away using modern ray tracing graphics.
They'll try and save their skin, but too bad, crow.
Too bad, crow. You swallowed a peseta or something, so we're going to have that out of you. Yeah. So don't worry, you can still get money out of a crow. Another thing that you know they're not going to ditch from Resident Evil, but I always worry, because at some point they're going to be making a Resident Evil game and someone at Capcom is going to turn to someone else and be like, why do we still have this suitcase system with the grid?
The attaché case.
The attaché case, that's
that
right.
You never see him actually carrying.
Why do we have this? It's quite odd and annoying, and it definitely breaks the flow of the action when you have to stop to rearrange things. Don't get me wrong.
It's its own game. It's its own mini-game.
It is its own mini-game that you have to play almost constantly. But don't get me wrong, I like it, and I will be sad the day when they inevitably go, hey, the guy who was making us keep this in the series has retired. Or so, we can have his retirement party. He gets a cake, here's a picture of a Spitfire, and then bam, delete the attaché case.
Day one, he's out of the company. Bam. Infinite inventory. Or we're back to item boxes.
Oh gosh.
That are all linked.
Yeah. I know that this is also something that they've had in the other recent remakes, and it's something that they kept in Village. But for me, every time there's a new Resident Evil, I think, is this the one where we're going to stop eating potted plants for health and, mulching them into each other for first
Picking
aid
a fish out of a river with our bare hands and then eating that.
Yeah.
Eating eggs for health.
Eating eggs for health. Eating whatever you can find on the floor.
Cracking a raw egg into your mouth. Yeah, the inventory management is basically exactly the same as it was, so that's good. There are some, you can do like fast combining of items now if you want to just make a bunch of mixed herbs and things like that.
In a ridiculous concession to modern times.
In a humiliating climb down.
The dialogue in Resident Evil 4 is famous, or maybe it should be infamous, for some really, really, really brilliantly clunky bits of dialogue.
I have only one very important question. You got a smoke?
Got gum.
Well, it added to that whole B-movie feel, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I know that you were devastated, Andy, that we didn't get this in the footage provided, but when you clear out the village, Leon does still say, where'd everybody go? Bingo.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
So good. But yeah, he does seem to have that same attitude, because the best bits of Resident Evil 4 are like the bit when Salazar is like, I've sent my right hand to dispose of you. And Leon's like,
your right hand comes off?
what?
Exactly.
Doesn't mean his literal hand, Leon.
They haven't taken the original script from Resident Evil 4. There are many, many changes that we saw even in our short time with the game. But I have faith that based on what we have seen, the more ridiculous lines are still going to be in there.
Oh yeah, and Leon's still got a bunch of like contextual barks that he throws out there. Like in the footage that Capcom gave us, the bit where you drop a torch on a cow and set it on fire. Leon runs out of the barn behind the burning cow and he says, "Bill me for the repairs later."
Bill me for the repairs later.
You know what? If Leon thinks you can repair a cow, that would go a long way to explaining why he's so comfortable quickly setting one on fire.
I really liked the line in the original when you sort of run into the house and he sees Dr. Salvador with his chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
In the original, he goes, "Great chainsaw," which is, such a sort of Evil Dead way of saying it. But in this one, he's like, "You got to be kidding me," or something, which is a bit more realistic, a bit more grounded,
a bit more 2022. Leon turns to camera and go, "Well, that happened."
Could I be any more afraid of that?
Yeah, Capcom's just got hold of Friends, and they're loving it. They've really gone all in on. They've really Chandlerified the whole game.
Yeah, Leon is now voiced by Matthew Perry.
Yeah, but don't worry, the weird lines are still in there. The game is still
great news,
goofy as heck. Leon can still get stuck in a number of traps that would immediately kill you or ruin your adventure if the game was adhering to any kind of realism. The one that we found was accidentally stepping in a bear trap.
Yes, it was quite well hidden, and they're sort of in the undergrowth, so you've got to keep an eye out for traps and stuff. I don't know if you remember the original, there were just like laser trip bombs everywhere.
Kind of strung like between the trees. So we didn't get to that point in the demo, but I'm hopeful that they will be in there because they're a really fun way to accidentally blow yourself up.
Yeah. But also you can kite enemies round into them and stuff. So
they're really fun.
The Ganados can get stuck in the bear trap, for example. So that's quite nice.
Incredible.
But yeah, it's still full of traps, full of snakes, full of Ganados, and it seems like they've got a little bit of stealth in there this time. You can crouch, you can move around quietly and try and avoid alerting people, and you can do sort of one-hit takedowns with your knife if you still got one, if you sneak up behind someone. So we saw some of that as well. It was pretty cool.
Nice. Leon is still a completely ludicrous protagonist as he's presented in this game. Again, not in the B-roll that you'll see, but we did get to see a little kind of cutscene intro to the game. It's the very start of the game.
It's sort of talking about how Leon became a Secret Service agent, and there's a nice little shot of him knife fight training with Krauser, which is apparently part of the Secret Service training. They just do knife fight training with real knives.
Yeah, it's just enjoyably ridiculous. And then immediately after that, meeting the President of the United States and the President taking him seriously and going, "Yes, we must dispatch you."
I thought that Village actually put a lot of the weirdness back in that they took out in 7.
Yeah.
It added, the teleporting merchant and the weird, shooting money out of crows. And
that's true. But Ethan himself is a much more grounded. He's an everyman. He's supposed, he's your relatable.
Agreed.
Your relatable everyman. And I was a bit worried that they would try and tone down Leon's whole deal.
Oh no, I think he's still a sort of supernaturally badass Secret Service agent who's always suplexing people and throwing knives through people's hands.
Yeah. Although he has a very loose understanding of what code names are supposed to be.
It's
because
my favourite.
When he sort of quickly gets on the phone when he thinks he's got a lead on where Ashley is.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, Hannigan, as you know, codename Baby Eagle, aka the President's daughter, has been kidnapped."
President's daughter, Baby Eagle. It's likely she's in this village.
Hello, it's me,
all the people
Leon.
listening in are like, "Oh, the president's daughter, you say?"
Our intel was correct then.
So those are some of the ways that Resident Evil Remake is still dumb as hell, so don't worry. Andy, did you like your time with Resident Evil 4 Remake?
Oh yeah, it was brilliant. I can't wait to play it. I'm really interested to see if it's as long as the original one was, because Resident Evil 4 is one of the longest Resident Evil games. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
And then you get to the prison island thing, and you're like, this is still going, and then you're in the sewers, and then you're in the castle. You're all over the place. I know that they took some stuff out of the Resident Evil 3 remake. It was a little bit shorter. So that's the sort of main thing I want to see now, is how long it's going to be.
I'm okay if you no longer have to stash Ashley in a bin for a while and stuff like that. Yeah.
Although we were running around the village, and we saw a few contextual prompts to do a boost.
Yes.
Even though we weren't with Ashley at that point.
Yes.
So we know at least that stuff's still in there.
Yeah, that's cool. I think Resident Evil 4 is my favourite Resident Evil game, and the only problem with it is that it's old and a bit difficult to play now. I think this has potential to be the best Resident Evil game
Yeah,
eggs
definitely.
ever.
It fixes like the problems with the controls. If you try and go back and play Resident Evil 4, it feels pretty clunky with all the tank controls and stuff.
Yeah.
So it fixes that, and it looks really, really great. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
Well, thanks for joining us, folks. If you want to watch more Resident Evil 4 stuff, and you do, because you watched all of this, so just admit it to yourself that you like Resident Evil 4, okay? Just to make that admission to yourself and find peace at last. And
The whole
then
thing would be a lot easier if you just admit that.
It'd be a lot easier if you just give in and go watch Andy's video over on Outside Xbox. It's on screen now. Look, there it is. Anyway,
it out.
thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time. And where'd everybody go? Bingo?
I assume bingo.
I assume bingo.